Hi, everyone. Today, I want to talk about a story from the Bible that's been on my mind lately. Now, I'm a spiritual person, not religious, but I find so much wisdom in the Old Testament. One story that has always fascinated me is the story of Abraham. He is a man whose faith and flaws teach us so much about trust, patience, and the dangers of trying to help God. Abraham, originally named Abram, was living in Mesopotamia when God called him to leave his homeland and journey to an unknown land. God promised him something extraordinary. Abraham would become the father of many nations, even though he and his wife, Sarah, then Sarai, were childless. At this point, Abraham was already 75 years old and Sarah was barren. Imagine receiving such a promise at that age. It seemed impossible by human standards, but Abraham believed in God's promise. He left everything behind and followed God's direction. Years passed, however, and there was still no child. The dream of becoming the father of nations started to feel distant. And here's where things took a turn. Sarah decided that maybe God needed a little help fulfilling his promise. She suggested that Abraham have a child with Hagar, her Egyptian maidservant. This wasn't uncommon in their culture. Surrogacy through servants was a way to preserve family lineage when a wife couldn't conceive. Abraham agreed, perhaps too quickly, and Hagar became pregnant with Ishmael. But what seemed like a practical solution quickly turned into chaos. Hagar's pregnancy caused tension in the household. She began to look down on Sarah. Sarah grew bitter and resentful. She started blaming Abraham for the situation, even though it was her idea. Sarah eventually demanded that Hagar and her son be sent away. Hagar found herself alone in the wilderness with her son, Ishmael. But here's the beautiful part. Even when humans mess up, God doesn't abandon us. He provided for Hagar and Ishmael, promising that Ishmael would also become the father of a great nation. And he did. His descendants are traditionally seen as the ancestors of many Arab peoples. Despite their detour with Hagar, God hadn't forgotten his original promise to Abraham and Sarah. When Abraham was 99 years old and Sarah was 90, well past childbearing age, God fulfilled his word. Sarah gave birth to Isaac. The name Isaac means laughter, because Sarah had laughed at the idea of having a child at her age. Isaac became the child through whom God's covenant would continue. From Isaac came Jacob, later called Israel, and from Jacob came the 12 tribes of Israel, the foundation of a nation that exists to this day. So, what can we learn from this? First, our dreams, those deep desires we carry in our hearts, are planted there by God himself. They're not random or trivial. They're part of his plan for us. But here's the catch. Those dreams will come true in his time, not ours. Sarah and Abraham tried to force God's hand because they couldn't see how his promise could possibly work out. And let's be honest, we're guilty of this too. We get impatient or insecure about whether our dreams will ever happen. So we take matters into our own hands. But when we do this, we often create unnecessary complications. The story also reminds us that even when we make mistakes or lose faith temporarily, God doesn't abandon us or his plans for us. He can take our messes and turn them into something good. Trust the process. Just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't happen. Don't compare. Sarah likely felt pressure because of cultural expectations around motherhood at the time. Similarly, don't let societal standards dictate how you measure your progress. Secondly, keep your dreams close. Be careful who you share your dreams with. Not everyone will understand or support them. Thirdly, let God lead. Trying to help God often leads to frustration or regret. So next time you're tempted to take shortcuts or force an outcome because you're tired of waiting, remember Abraham and Sarah's story. Trust that what's meant for you will happen at the right time. And if you need help reconnecting with your dreams or trusting in their fulfillment, I'd love to support you. Sign up for a free coaching session using the link below and share your thoughts in the comments. What dreams are you trusting God with right now? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Till next time. Thanks for watching.